Children of the night, what music they make.
They're all gonna laugh at you!
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What's up?
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash you or hurt you.
The results are in, and the winner is final, guys.
Yeah.
To the podcast, buddy.
We've got half an oligarchy. We just need 4 more, and we'll be fine.
If you came for a review of Tremors Shrieker Island, you're going to have to wait, like the results of this election, till a long time from now. We're not going to get to that till the end of this show, but we will get to Tremors Shrieker Island. It's 7th
Title.
Shrieker movie, Tremors movie, whatever the hell this thing is.
It's all about the ass blasting. That's
Ass blasting, Gummers. Gummers.
sure.
But before we do that,
Oh boy.
I've got Hunter, I've got Jason, I've got Tim, my 3 beloved co-hosts. How
What's
are
up?
you, fellas?
I'm feeling good.
Feeling great.
I can't stop looking at Tim's hair. I have to say it.
It's pretty magnificent, I'm not gonna lie.
This is the best that Tim's hair is more distracting than my koala onesie that I'm wearing.
Yes,
That's
it's
saying
crazy.
something.
It's nuts.
Who was the girlfriend on Friends? Oh, Chandler.
Oh, my
Janice.
thing-a-ling.
Is it Janice?
Janice.
You got a kind of Janice thing going there.
Kind of, yeah.
Changing my name to Janice.
Nice.
Well, anything else going on tonight besides our podcast?
The eve of
Nothing.
destruction.
Absolutely
Yeah.
nothing.
There might be no society that will
It's
listen
just-
to this come tomorrow.
A regular Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Mm,
So
yeah, you're right.
if you really want to catch this, watch it now. Because the fabric of what we know and love might be gone by
The
by
Matrix will
morning.
crash tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Jason and Hunter,
Mhm.
if memory serves me correctly, the last time there was a presidential election, we podcasted
Really?
and signed off. I'm pretty sure I was podcasting, signed off, and then went to my TV and turned on and was like, who's winning?
I don't think it. No, it wasn't us. Maybe it was me and you doing Monster Men. Because
We
we
had to check
started
that.
doing
On
Funnel Guys in
Monster Men?
2017. But we might have done a Monster Men.
Maybe we
I
did
was-
Monster Man.
I was definitely podcasting that night because I did not get to my TV till like 9:30. And
I didn't even pay attention. I'm like, well, she's gonna win, so why bother? And I woke up. I was like, what the hell happened here?
Oh, I was up all night. I had 4 things going, and I was just watching meltdowns like all night. It was hilarious.
I did enjoy the tears. We're all gonna cry tomorrow, no matter what. Everyone's gonna cry.
Everyone's a
For
loser
something.
tonight.
Yes.
Trump finally got his wall. He built it around the White House.
Oh,
All right. Anybody got any news before? I got a little news.
do
Does
you?
anybody have any news?
No.
I have nothing.
I got the Messy Man book in the mail today by Chris Norrington.
Oh,
I was very excited.
that is
Nice.
exciting.
But now, Jason, this is the Messy Man trilogy. It's the 3rd book in it, and there won't be more.
Shots fired.
There was a shot across the bow.
What?
Well,
Shots
wasn't the
fired.
Hunger a trilogy in the beginning?
Yeah.
Well, there we
And
go.
then, my wife decided she likes to eat food, and I had to keep writing them.
What the hell?
I know. I tried to talk her out of
That's
it.
what the hunger is
Really?
about.
Yeah.
So hungry, Jason's not bringing in the bacon. So yeah, I'm very excited to read that. I'll review it in a couple of weeks because I'm trying to finish that Travis Walton book, which is really thick, but well written, better than you'd imagine.
It's called a ghostwriter, my man.
Might be. But when I talk to him, he seems pretty erudite. So I don't know.
I don't know what that means.
Exactly.
Maybe you're the ghostwriter.
He's the ghost shitter. Okay.
So the news here from me is Jason Brandt was recently the guest on Ink Heist, and that episode just dropped. And it's a big Hunter Shea suck fest. So if you want to endure people just like, oh, I know Hunter Shea, listen to that for an hour.
Oh, I thought there was a Hunter Shea sucks fest. That's what I figure. If Jason's on it,
I mean, that's what it was.
They give you shit. It's kind of funny, but after a while, I'm like, okay, we get it. You guys know Hunter Shea.
Oh, good.
I warned you. I warned you.
You did.
Hunter, you got to listen to it, man.
I see the episode is called Old Rock Titty with Jason Brandt. It's a great time.
I was drinking a lot, so I don't even remember half.
I will say this, dude. Some of the shots he took at us, I was laughing out loud this morning when I was listening to it. So, tip of the cap.
I kept bringing Tim up, and they kept glossing over it. And after like 10 minutes, one of them was like, "Oh yeah, Tim's on Final Guys now." Jesus Christ! You think I keep shit on him?
Jesus Christ!
It's something about like Final Guy, Monster Men starting in the 1800s or something.
I have no idea what I
cracked me up.
So I got to get back in the show now just to get back at you.
You guys clearly don't listen to all my podcast appearances because when I do, I shit on everybody at least once. That's what I do.
This sounds epic. So, you know what, Jack? We're going to be on Paleo Cheese next week. So here we go.
The claws are coming out.
Get it ready.
We should do like a Final Guys podcast universe where we just have different episodes where we're shitting on each other across different shows.
We got to do someday the big panel discussion where we get all these schmucks that we're friends with and like the super Brady bunch that you can't understand anybody, and then just like us with the clicker that we can control who we see or something.
That'd be great.
You shut up. You talk.
Now, see, I was on a podcast, Hunter, you know our friend Mike Carlin. He's got a podcast called Celluloid Zeros that he just launched, MikeCarlin.com. And he had me on to talk about Love at First Bite. They talk about different old movies that they revisit now. I don't bash any of you in this.
Oh, because that's so nice.
You're a stand-up guy, that's why.
Also, they don't know any of you.
And Mike would be like, wait, I was on Mike's show once.
You were on his Uncorking story. So he's got this one now. And I'm going to talk about Love at First Bite when I go. So I'll talk about it then. But it was very fun time. But now I'm dying to get on a show where I can knock you guys. So
nice.
Yeah, well, like I'm saying, Paleo Cheese, Friday the 13th. We'll be on that.
Paleo Cheese, I was just on Friday, and I was definitely giving Tim more shit on that one. So
good.
Because I find it hilarious that you wrote a book with Chad, and you're the only one that has not been on his show.
We were saving it for when the book actually comes out.
It cracks me up.
Only want you on, Tim, when it's a special time. Other than that, stay away.
Oh, also, other news is if you're a Nightworm subscriber, watch for your next package. That's all I'm going to say. If you're a Final Guys fan.
Mm-hmm.
And a Tim Meyer fan.
Or a me fan.
Yeah. Well,
check out our packages.
Like I said, if you're a Final Guys fan.
Yeah, when does that come out? This month?
Yeah, they're I think they're shipping like soon, like within the next week or so.
Beauty.
And tell us quickly, what is Nightworms for those who don't know?
Nightworms is a subscription box where you could sign up either monthly or yearly, and they send you usually 2 books per month, sometimes 3. And you get a bunch of extra goodies. Like sometimes they'll send like coffee, artwork, bookmarks, just like extra things. It's pretty cool if you're a horror fiction fan. It's a really good box, and usually the books that they get are like, sometimes they're special editions that you can't get anywhere else. Like the one that Chad and I have coming out in November, you can only get this version of the book through the Nightworms box. So, and sometimes they have stuff that's like not even out yet, which is cool. So it's pretty neat.
If I went to your house, could I get this book? Like if I just showed up, said, "Hey Tim, what's up, man? I got some beers. Can I have one of these books? Could I get it?"
No.
Jesus Christ.
If you saw a man
I
in
like
a
Final Guys when
koala,
I was
If I saw a man in
Yeah,
a
the-
Snuggie walk up to
koala
my house,
Snuggie running across your lawn at night.
probably gonna get shot. I'm not gonna lie to you. And I don't,
What was that video? Let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel. Weren't they
Yeah.
something like that?
You and me,
Bloodhound
baby,
Gang.
we ain't nothing but mammals. So let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel.
Bloodhound Gang classic.
Bloodhound Gang. That's it.
I'm wearing tidy whities and I'm smuggling plums. They had so many great lines.
My plums.
Oh man.
What's that song? The lap dance is only good when the strippers cry.
Yes, that's on my phone, and every once in a while, when I turn on my car, some random song will come on. Usually, it's that stupid U2 album that they just sent
the
to
free
everybody.
one.
And I'm like, what the hell? I don't even know the song. Oh, that's the one I didn't ask for. But every once in a while, I'll get something from the Bloodhound Gang. I totally leave it on.
Oh, they were awesome.
Good times.
Hey, do you want me to do the drinking words?
Oh, please do.
I got them loaded up. Sheridan Bradford, by the way, is back. I don't know where he was last week. We were nervous.
Not dead.
Not dead.
He pulled
Or
the Gummer.
this could be an imposter. We're not sure. So the drinking words tonight are Jack. If you say graboids, vote or Connery. Sean Connery. If I say Jurassic Island or game, Jason, your words are Shriekers, egg, and effects. Pony Boy. Your budget, election, and kills. And if any of us say Burt blasters or costume, like I'm wearing now, y'all take a drink.
So
Y'all take a drink.
Yeah, I'll drink now.
thanks, Sheridan.
Back at my old job, we had a guy there. We used to call him Pony Boy. It was pretty funny.
Did you say tell him to stay gold? Come on, you got to go full outsiders.
Hey, real quick, speaking of costumes, what did you guys do for Halloween?
Drank,
I did
smoked,
Jason Voorhees again. I did it last year, but my wife wasn't with me, so she dressed as a camp counselor. So
Did you go anywhere or do anything?
we went out to a couple breweries around here that have like really cool outside spots. And then we did trick or treat here, which was about half of what it usually is, but still not a terrible turnout.
I had a Jason Voorhees hockey jersey on and some stuff, but I just smoked cigars, drank beers, and I had a skeleton on my high porch. And when kids would be down to the bottom, I would lower him and he'd hold bags of treats. They
Nice.
They love that. We had 60 kids, which I thought I'd get 10, honestly. So I was impressed.
Yeah, I didn't dress up, but we took our 5-year-old trick or treating for like an hour or two, and there was surprisingly a lot of kids out by us. So
Good.
it was pretty cool. Good to see.
We don't
Nice.
fear Halloween.
I went up to my friend's house where she had set up two tailgate tents, and covered them in black sheets and made like a fun house. So there was like lighted pumpkins and skulls and stuff going up to it, and some the light up skeletons and crap like that. And the little kids in the neighborhood would come up, and when the sun went down, we ran a haunted house for like 2 hours, and then a bunch of the kids went trick-or-treating, and we went to the backyard, fired up the fire pit, drank wine, and watched the full moon rise. So it was an awesome night for
Nice.
us.
No, it's
Very
cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, see, Halloween was good for the final guys because we know what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, not bitches.
You jerks who just stayed home. No candy.
The funny thing was about the fire pit, we were all, in winter coats and stuff, but it was really nice by the fire pit. But if you left the fire pit to go like back to the house for something, it was so cold between the fire
Yeah,
pit.
it was
Oh my God.
freezing.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a cold night.
Brutally cold.
Oh man. And that moon was unbelievable.
It was very nice. First time we've had that like since World War II, where the full moon could be seen everywhere around the world.
Really?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Mm.
All right. Here's some horror news real quick. I can't wait for the reaction on this one. Jordan Peele is teaming up with Universal to remake People Under the Stairs. He's not going to direct it necessarily, but he's going to produce it. 1991 cult classic People Under the Stairs. Jordan Peele.
I'm in.
Yeah.
The
It's not
source
like-
material is good, so
It's strange. It's very strange. I like that movie, but every time I watch it, I'm like, what the hell? what's going on when they shot this? It's so weird.
Yeah, it is.
Do you ever feel like maybe Jordan Peele should do an original thing versus, or like he's remaking Candyman?
Yeah.
Now he's remaking. Now he's done original material. I'm not saying he hasn't.
He's not directing these things though. He's
producing it.
He's
So, yeah.
producing them. So
okay.
I would like to see him do, write and direct another horror film. I don't know if he's going to or what his plans are, but I mean, I like Get Out a lot. Us, I'm like, it's all right. It has a lot of issues, but
What are you talking about? There's no writing issues in that.
Yeah, that thing's solid, beginning to end.
But I don't know. I think he's got talent, and he definitely loves the genre. You can tell in both movies. You can tell that he has a passion for the horror genre. So I would like to see him do something original again. That'd be awesome.
I think this is a good movie to remake because not a lot of people have seen it besides guys like us.
Mm-hmm.
He should do the Candyman under the stairs. What's the kid's name in that movie? Is it Cool?
I don't remember. It's been a while, dude.
Mhm.
Like he should be Candyman.
That should be my costume next year. That dominatrix. Doesn't he have a shotgun he's running around with or something?
Yeah, I think that.
When I saw Pulp Fiction for the first time and they showed the Gimp, that was the first thing I thought of. It's like, oh, it's the people under the stairs.
And the Gimp was under the stairs.
Yeah, that always felt like a Wes Craven cocaine movie to me, like that and Shocker. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jesus.
must have been piles of blow on the freaking craft services table.
Yeah.
Good for him though.
Hey, I mean, those movies make me happy. So
Yeah.
Yeah, we
All
never
right.
get paid when we do coke.
Right,
I
so we're
lose
all-
my jobs.
right, so we're all looking forward to the people under the stairs.
Yeah.
Bring it on. I'm curious to see what it does with Candyman. So hopefully we'll get real movies, new movies sometime soon. Here's one for you. Isabel Furman, who was the little girl in Orphan, is returning for the sequel. Orphan First Kill. It's a prequel. The girl's like 20.
God.
She's 23 now. But I don't think they're going to Gollum her and do a CGI.
Wasn't she 23 in the original one?
Yeah. She
I
was,
thought she was
She
older.
was 33 in the original, in the story, but she was.
But I thought in like real life
kid.
she was older.
When I read it, she's now 23. I don't
Really?
know what year that movie came out.
So they
2009.
actually
It came out in 2009.
they used makeup to make her look older rather than someone older look younger. Interesting. Okay,
Well, it's a prequel, so Jason's out.
I'm out. I hate prequels.
And that movie wasn't strong enough for me to dive back into that universe.
Maybe this will get you. Julia Stiles is also in it.
She's still alive.
Yes.
Not does she still act. She's not dead.
No, she's dead, but she's in it as the prequel, just like the older girl's going to play the younger girl. I don't know.
I don't know. I really liked that movie the first
I
time
did
I
too.
saw it.
That was
I
good.
did too.
So,
but
I don't know.
Again.
I'll wait. I'll hold my judgment until I see a trailer and see how terrible it looks, and then I'll probably back out.
Do you think she'll die at the end of it, or do you think she'll live?
God, I'm sure she'll live.
Weird. It's almost
Burt
like it's a
Gummer can
prequel.
live. Through
What if
we
it
already
has?
know.
What if it bookends and part of it's a prequel and part of it's after?
I mean,
It's the only
that,
good thing they did in the thing prequel or whatever the hell it was.
that was what made that movie so cool, is because they had like a really cool backstory, and the way they fit it into the movie, I thought they did a good job. So you really don't need a prequel. I feel like this is completely unnecessary, though.
Well, you described most of what Hollywood churns out.
Fair enough.
Sadly, that is true.
Our last piece of news concerns Mr. Ty West, who is his next horror film is going to be called X. He's working with A24, and Mia Goth is going to be in it.
Road to
She
Well.
was
No,
in Suspiria.
yeah, and that fucking movie with the water. I forget what that one was called.
Jenna Ortega from The Babysitter 2 also. Plot details are being kept under wraps, so I don't know what X is about.
That movie I'm freaking in for. Ty West and A24.
Done.
We had just been talking about how we were hoping Ty West would resurface in horror. He heard us.
Yeah, exactly. The
Everyone
influence
should
of
thank
that.
Final Guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's 100%
Send me
us.
more onesies to thank me. Oh yeah, I'm psyched for that. Maybe it's X, the man with the X-ray eyes, the Ray Milland movie.
I think it's a prequel to Jason X.
Oh,
Ooh.
we definitely need that. Look, you had me at Ty West. You had me at A24. I mean,
There.
nothing even needs to be said.
That's now officially my most anticipated film.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh. All right. With that, we are concluding the news segment of the show.
Steve Barnard's coming in hot.
Candyman is canceled.
No, it's just been pushed back.
Oh, I was like, what?
Hmm.
I had not heard that. Okay. Just delayed for COVID reasons, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean they have most of it shot. I think they were pretty much wrapped with principal photography. So I mean, I don't know if they have like reshoots or something to do, or they just were holding it for because of COVID. But there's a trailer out there and everything. So
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Steve
Okay.
also pointed out that Nightworm starts with an itchy butthole,
that
which made me laugh when I saw that in the chat.
that is true.
Oh my god.
All right. With that, let us go into what did we watch last week.
Yay!
We have such sights to show you.
Jason, go first and just to get the friggin' Amityville horror out of the way, please.
All right. I'll start with that first then.
Pull the band-aid off fast.
So I was going to watch one called, who cares? I don't even know. And in discussing it with Chad, he said, "Oh, let's watch this one. It's a found footage Amityville film, and it's free on Prime." I'm like, okay, that's
Free.
better than paying $3 for the one I was going to watch. So I watched the Amityville Haunting, which, as I said, is found footage, and it is god awful.
Look at that IMDb score. I don't think I've ever seen one so low.
This is the worst movie in the series, bar freaking none.
It's got a cool movie poster. I like that.
Yeah.
It's not even the Amityville house in it. It's supposed to be, but it looks nothing like it.
There's very rarely any Amityville houses in these movies. I've noticed.
That cover looks like a gingerbread house.
It's so bad.
Like an Amityville Christmas.
Yeah, and it's in the woods. Like what? So okay. Some kids break into it at the beginning and they die, and then a family moves in some amount of time later, and the son is obsessed with filming everything. So that's the excuse for why everything is being recorded. And they proceed to rip off Paranormal Activity. That's
man.
But with acting that is just not very good. I swear to God, particularly at the beginning, the amount of times the camera went out of focus just while somebody was talking, I was like, guys, you can do another take. Like, for Christ's sake. Like,
But we want it to look authentic and amateurish.
Is that in California?
they nailed it. Dude, I guarantee it was. I guarantee it was. So then they get to the part where they put up security cameras, to fully rip off Paranormal Activity. Because I guess this came out around 2011. So this was Paranormal Activity hype train, And this was painful. I was cursing Chad's name the entire freaking time. If they took more than a week to shoot this, I would be shocked. I'd be willing to bet like 2 days. I mean, it's just.
They used to work for Roger Corman.
Oh, yeah. But at least in Roger Corman films, if they flubbed their line, they would do it again. In this, hell with it. Just keep going. We don't need that line anyway. Story. Who gives
We
a
have
shit?
47 scenes to do today. Come on.
And at the beginning of the film, like 2 people die in or around the house in like the first day the family moves in. They're all pretty cool with it. Like they're not really that concerned. It's the back door being open when they wake up. That is the concern, not the deaths. It's just.
Oh, this sounds
bad.
dreadful.
And no Bella Thorne, right?
No Bella Thorne.
I'm out.
Not even a Selena Gomez or anyone from Disney. Anna Montana.
No. big muscular dad who has a freak out at the end. That's pretty funny. But
Like a Nicolas Cage freak out, or just like a regular freak out?
it was like a Nicolas Cage to freak out. Actually,
Oh, really?
He was yelling at his family, and then he was like saluting the bookcase beside him.
Was it a Nicolas Cage in Mandy, Nicolas Cage in Color Out of Space, or Nicolas Cage in Wicker Man freak out?
Mandy, Nick Cage is probably the best freak out you're ever going to see.
It was more like Bad Lieutenant.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually the best freak out. The shit that's in that movie.
Yeah.
I mean, so like I said, it's supposed to be in the Amityville house. The outside looks nothing like it. The inside, it's not even the same layout. Like it's just nothing like it, and they just didn't give a shit. And neither should I, because right at the beginning, I saw who made it. It was the Asylum, and I was like, "God damn you, Lutsky! You're making me watch Asylum films."
Oh, man, there is no love there for you whatsoever.
No, talk about people who don't give a shit. So I've got one more, and then I'm done. I'm washing my hands of this. And maybe I'll come back.
Sounds like
maybe I'll come back later. But...
Is that enough? Like, if you do one more, how many is that? You capping out at what, 10?
I think this will be 12.
Oh my
God! If you want to be a chicken,
yeah. I mean, I'm a bitch. Is that what you want me to say? I'm a bitch. I can't do it. I can't hack it.
You came to your senses.
Too old for this shit.
It's fine.
I don't blame you, man. That sounds brutal.
That one, it broke my soul. I was like, nope, I'm done. I'm done. I'm gonna watch I'm watching the remake to cap it off, and I'm done. Well, I mean, I sold it, but I still have it. It's just when I die, it goes. You know the rules.
All right, Susie and the Banshees. What do you got? That's you, Tim Meyer.
Is that me?
Tim is like, you know what? Tim's too young. Probably doesn't even know who they are.
I heard of them.
I've heard of them. See, that's why. It's like a deer in headlights.
All right. So Halloween night, I was winding down with a little film called The Haunting.
The awesome remake, right?
The original Haunting, made in 1963, based off the Shirley Jackson novel, Haunted of Hill House, which you probably know from the big famous Netflix production. They did a version of it that's not true to the book whatsoever. But
recall.
Actually, Tim, on this podcast, we all know it from the book and the movie that you watched.
What?
You probably know it from the Netflix series, but everybody in this podcast knows it from the book.
From the actual book.
And the actual movies.
Yeah. Which is good, because most people probably don't even know that it was a book. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, I haven't seen this movie, I think, in its entirety in a number of years. And yeah, I know. It's kind of just been like, I've seen it, but in parts, just whenever it was on TV. So I actually sat down and watched the whole thing. This is a really beautiful film. Just some of like the cinematography shots in it, especially in like the opening sequences, like it's very gothic. And just like the book, it really like immerses you in the environment. And I was just really just captivated by that, you know. And then the performances were really well done. And I don't know, I really enjoyed myself. And I probably helped that it was Halloween night and I was feeling a little spooky. So I got a little bit more into it than I probably would have if it was just any other Saturday night. But yeah, I had a blast watching this. And if you haven't seen it, you got to watch it because it's a classic.
It's one of the best made horror movies of all time, hands down.
Quick question, Blair Witch 2 boy. You clearly must like the Haunting remake better than the original.
Dude, I remember when that first came out, I watched that movie so much on VHS. And like I was like 13 at the time, so like I didn't really
it's admissible. If you liked it at 13, it's fine.
Like it was like a horror movie that was easily accessible to me. But yeah, like now it's unwatchable, that remake. It's so bad.
Wow. And, wow, the ghosts. Wow.
That was one of the first movies where I was like, man, this computer stuff is kind of ruining things.
Oh man. And then was it Lily Taylor?
Taylor, yeah.
Oh my god, she was unwatchable in that movie. And I'm not like a big I'm
and
like
she's good.
And she is a great actress. And I mean, I'm not like a huge fan, but I mean, she was good in like The Conjuring and some other stuff that I've seen her in. She's been good.
Mystic Pizza.
But
Dog
she
fight.
was so annoying in that movie. Like, I just wanted to put my eyes out.
Luckily, this was at the height of Catherine Zeta-Jones's powers, so you had
Yeah,
that going
That's
for it.
why they got some people to watch it, including idiot me.
Yep,
Yeah.
me too.
But
I
yeah,
was in the theater.
don't watch that movie. It's awful.
No.
But the original one is great. And
The original one would be on your list of 10 must-see haunting movies.
Yeah, it's awesome, and I like the novel a lot too. So it was cool to actually see like a really faithful adaptation of that as well.
Good Halloween pick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very good. Better than the Amityville haunting, you son of a bitch.
All right.
A cuddly disaster. What do you got?
I have 3 movies. I watched, I think, 6 movies on Halloween, but I'll talk about 3 I watched on Halloween day. It was like, I woke up early. I'm like, I'll watch a movie. I'll do this. I'll watch a movie. I'll do that. I was so excited to find the Blackwell Ghost Part 5 was on Amazon. And I've talked about, I can't believe I'm the only one who's watching these movies. If you're going to, for like cheap found footage paranormal movies, I mean, this is probably as good as it gets.
I'll get around to it.
So you guys are
You
really
should
going to
do
like
that next.
that. Will be a series that you won't be angry with.
I need something to cleanse the palate.
Yeah, absolutely. So in the first 2 movies, this guy's investigating the Blackwell Ghost, and now he's moved on to the Lightfoot House, this place down in Florida that where this serial killer lived, Mr. Lightfoot. I always think of Gordon Lightfoot.
The Edmund Fitzgerald, right?
Exactly. So he always goes down alone, and this particular ghost just pounds the shit out of the walls like nothing you've ever heard. Even if it wasn't a ghost, if it's a person doing it and it's a person, it's going to drive you pretty much insane. And he's just, yeah, bang, bang, bang. And he's like that. But so at this point, 3rd time in, he's kind of cool with it. He's kind of accepted it. It's a little gets on his nerves. The phone always rings a certain time at night, and you hear these weird voices coming through, and he's catching things in windows and reflections. I will say the first 4 have really kind of scary, creepy moments. Mm-hmm. This one, not so much, because I think we've gone back to this house so many times, and it's not doing anything really that much different. It's more of him piecing together all these clues from existing material, because in this one he's deputized, which is kind of hysterical.
Deputized?
Yeah, he's deputized by the local PD, so he can get access to this information. And what he's getting from the ghosts, but not really getting, but just kind of like taking their sound cues to make them search in different places. So he's actually in his universe he's created, he's helping find the bodies of victims. So and he's
cool.
and he's using a map, and like it's kind of chilling. Like in the beginning of this, they're showing like them digging up these bodies. I'm like, where the hell did he get this footage from? So this is more of just solving the mystery than a kind of like a haunted house kind of thing. But again, there's going to be a 6 because they lined it right up for another part. They even said to be continued. But now it's like, even though I know this shit's fake, I want to find out what the whole solution to this thing is. So I'm in.
I watched the first one years ago when he first started doing this, and it's been so long now. It's fading, so I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch it. But
yeah,
I'm gonna do them all.
Yeah, they're really good. They're really well made too.
It's just one guy doing them, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. I mean, I appreciate that. That's why I like Bad Ben stuff.
Exactly. This guy, supposedly, if his bio is correct, he is in the filmmaking industry, so he has some access to a lot of little toys and stuff like that. And I guess that's what makes it look a little better. But production value is a little better this time too. He's getting some good eerie background music too.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, maybe I'll do those next.
You need it. You need it.
You need to pick me up.
It was splendid.
Yeah.
So I watched a ton of movies this week as well. Double feature days, things like that. So I'm not going to go into everything. If we decide we want to go long because we don't want to talk about Tremors too long, maybe we'll pepper in a few at the end.
Talk about it all day.
But I finished my Ty West run by watching House of the Devil, which I hadn't seen in
Ooh.
quite a long time. So I did Innkeepers, Sacrament, and now House of the Devil. I've seen
Nice
this
run.
one, saw this a long time ago. Really liked it a lot. Haven't watched it in years. And, my God, I love it. It's such a great movie. I know, Hunter. This is one of those movies I'm going to start talking about, and you're going to take over the conversation. So
I'm not saying anything. I love it. I did a whole episode on paleo cheese about it. So not much more to say.
So again, another Ty West like the Innkeepers, where there's a slow burn. It's, I guess, the term people would use for parts of this movie, because it really builds before you get to the third act. But they do a couple of things early in that movie that ratchet the tension in that movie up to 11. These go to 11. And that just creates this. So you're never bored, because I'm not going to give it away, but something huge happens early in the movie that is awesome. And so once that happens, like, nobody is safe. You're just like, what the hell? Then it takes its time. And it really it's a period piece of the 80s. Like, it was made in 2009, or it came out in 2009, but it feels like it takes place in the 80s, and it feels like it was made in the 80s. And they have the famous what the hell's that song? One Thing Leads to Another.
Yep.
But they play the other song too. They don't write them like that anymore.
Now you got the song in my head. There's a few good songs in there.
And the great thing about having not seen it in a long time is I knew the ending, but I forgot a lot of the details of what happened. So I'm like, oh, I know eventually, what goes on. But then I was like, oh yeah, that's right, I forgot. So it was great to kind of see it all over again. So listen, man, if you want to do a triple feature, get the Ty West movies and watch them. These are all so good. And this one, I mean, Hunter, I understand why you love this movie so much. It's just great. And if you haven't seen it, watch it, and don't give me any guff about being bored at the beginning. It's a great movie from start to finish.
It's got Greta Gerwig in it, who is now the darling of Hollywood. She plays Jocelyn Donahue's girlfriend.
Oh, it's been, I need to watch again. It's probably only been like 2 years, but it's one of those movies that is a slow burn, but the atmosphere works so well for me that I am not bored at all during that movie.
Tom Noonan is so good, man.
I was just going to say that once Tom Noonan enters, everything he says is so full of dread, like, because you all know him. You're like, oh God, this is the original Tooth Fairy. This dude is creepy. Like, so whenever he's saying something, you're like, don't believe what he's saying. Don't believe what he's saying. It's so good. He's so great in that movie.
He's a monster of a man.
Yeah.
He was at Scares the Care, and I stood beside him, and I was like, holy shit. Like, this dude is big.
Yeah, good for him. Good for that height.
Actually, there's a new documentary about the Monster Squad called Wolfman's Got Nards. That's it's on VOD right now. I haven't watched it yet. I'm waiting for the price to come down. But
I'm waiting to watch the Monster Squad from beginning to end, which I've never done.
I have watched it start to finish once. I've seen parts of it several times.
Like, we missed it.
Yeah, we were a little older.
I was too old when I watched it the first time. Like, I appreciate it, but it's just not. It's not my thing. I'm sure you love it.
Tim's favorite movie.
Hair.
Yeah.
All right. What do you got for us, Ernie McCracken?
All right.
Big Ern McCracken.
Hey, call me Ernie or Big Ern.
I like your brother Phil McCracken.
God damn. Freaking dad joke. All right. I finished my Amityville run for now, at least, with the remake from 2005, the Amityville Haunting, which I had not seen since it came out in 2005. I did not harbor the hate for this movie everybody else did when it came out, but I clearly didn't love it because I have not watched it again in 15 years. So in rewatching it, I was surprised at how well made this was, considering my memory of it. Particularly the first 3/4 of it are really, really well done. It fixes a lot of the problems. What the hell is this picture? Am I sharing the right
Who are
movie?
these people?
That's from the premiere.
Was that the guy from the league?
Random people on the red carpet.
Like, what the hell is that?
Hey,
So-
Deadpool.
Story-wise, this movie fixed a lot of the issues I have with the Amityville Horror, which, it's almost like a bunch of guys got drunk and made up the idea for the Amityville Horror for a book one time.
This
So-
movie fixed problems. Jesus Christ, dude.
Yes, it didn't fix all the problems, and it introduced new ones. But
There we go.
so
It's a
first of
lot.
all, Lutz isn't just a giant asshole as soon as they move into the house. Like James Brolin was just
What about Lutsky?
Lutsky was the giant asshole.
what do I need to say about Lusky? Jesus. So he kind of degrades over the movie as opposed to just being super intense out of the gate. And they take in the first movie, I did not remember this till rewatching it. Almost all of the supernatural stuff of consequence happens outside of the house to people who don't live in it, like the priest and things like that. Whereas in this movie, it's all in the house, which makes more sense.
Mhm.
And I like that this movie took it until the very end, and almost all the supernatural things are more psychological. It's Lutz seeing things. It's playing with his mind. It's twisting him to try to get him to kill his family. It's not just shit flying through the air. And all of that stuff worked surprisingly well for me as I was watching this. I was kind of taken aback at how much better this was than I had remembered. And then the ending hits, and it just doesn't really work all that well. They bring in the Native American burial ground thing,
Oh yeah, there we go.
and it's just and like the first Amityville, it just kind of ends, like at least it's not somebody running into the house and grabbing the dog and running back out, which is the first one. But
Yeah.
I guess this ending is maybe a little better, but not much.
Is Chloe Grace Moretz the kid in this?
She is. It has a great cast. It has Ryan
Jeez.
Reynolds, Melissa George, Chloe Grace. I mean, it's
The two things I like about this movie: Melissa George and Rachel Nichols
oh yeah, Rachel Nichols. That's right.
Oh,
So the cast is-
Rachel.
as the babysitter.
Yes, she has a great sequence in it. So not nearly as bad as I remember. It's just that goddamn ending. And I think that's why everybody hates this movie, because it's the last thing you kind of see going out. So I think that's what everybody remembers. And it has, the mid 2000s stuff where people's heads are moving like really quickly in like 3 different shots. Thank God we don't really do that in movies anymore. And the beginning had so many edits, I thought I was going to have an epileptic fit. Like it was just like it was like a heavy metal video or something, But better made than I expected. Definitely one of the best Amityville movies, which is not saying anything, but it was better than I remembered. I just wish they'd nailed that third act, and I think people would think of this movie more fondly.
That Indian burial ground stuff is where it lost me totally.
Yeah. Yep.
Just dumb. It's
Watching
lazy.
it again, it's 100% when it's like, no. If they'd cut that out, but then the movie would have been like an hour, 10 minutes long. So,
Might have been good.
yeah.
It worked for Frankenstein.
So, gentlemen, I'm done. I'm
Thank
I'm
God.
waving the towel. I'm waving the towel. Thank you. I'll accept my reward later.
Courageous clapping.
Maybe I'll come back to some of the later ones after I do more series, but for now,
You don't have to.
Now we really don't want to hear about these.
Yeah.
And the documentaries. Yeah, you should do them all.
We were really clapping for our own sanity, not for you.
Yeah, because we're tired of hearing of these.
Yeah.
that's fair. Okay, so next week I'll do 2 more then, you sons of bitches.
They don't even sound good, much less watching them.
Yeah. Sounds awful. My turn?
Go for it.
All right. So, Hunter, I think you reviewed a movie last week or the week before called Fire in the Sky. And so I watched that, and then I got like on this alien UFO kick because it's like one of my favorite horror subgenres. And
welcome to the me and Jason fold.
I know, I do. I really love it, and I need to consume more. So maybe you guys can hit me with some recs later. But I watched
you.
I saw this movie pop up on Amazon Prime sometime in 2020, and I always wanted to watch it, just never got around to watching it. So I popped it on, called The Vast of Night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know much about it other than, it potentially deals with like UFOs and aliens and interpreting a frequency from the beyond, which is all like right in my wheelhouse. So I popped it on. I didn't realize that it was like a radio drama that they adapted to a movie, which I thought
didn't know
was
that.
yeah, because the way it's shot is it's very interesting. It's like it's almost like a radio drama. It's literally just kind of people talking for a good solid hour and a half.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like it's the shots are really cool, and like I was really impressed with the acting in this movie because I don't know if any of you guys have ever tried to act in anything. Like memorizing lines and stuff to me is like really hard. I have a shitty memory anyway, but like there was like no cuts in these scenes, and they were just like going back and forth with the dialogue, and it was super impressive. So I was very into that. As far as the story, like the story was kind of all right. And again, not a whole lot of action, more like creepy dread stuff going on, and there's the whole mystery of this this sound that they receive on the frequency, and then like the stories of people calling into the radio show telling their stories of alien abduction and whatnot, and then of course there's a big climax at the end. But it was an interesting film. I don't think it would be for everybody, but I was impressed with, again, the acting and some of the filming and cinematography stuff. I thought was really cool. So it was a well-made movie. Just I think it's kind of not going to be everybody's cup of tea for sure.
Yeah. There's a lot of fast talking, and the first like 15-20 minutes I had a hard time following the audio.
Yeah, the audio was bad at the beginning of the movie, and I don't know why.
I didn't catch that, but yeah, definitely I could see people getting lost because of all the dialogue, and it's just like I said, it's people talking. So
I don't know, it's that southern kind of twang he had. Like, what the hell is he talking so fast?
It was
moving, and
yeah, it was a combination of like that 50s like fast talking, like
yeah, exactly.
But mixed with like a southern like twang. And it was just, it was a little strange. But once you get used to it, like it didn't bother me.
50s in the South when they were all gangsters.
Yeah, see?
I really like that movie.
Come back now. See, yeah.
Giddy up.
Rawhide.
I really like The Vast of Night, but it's one of those where I had to be careful who I recommend that to because just the pacing and what it's about and everything. But some of the camera work they pull off in that is unreal. Like even for a big budget film, I would have been super impressed. And for a low budget film, it was just super impressive.
Yeah, the cinematography was great.
Anyone I know who loves like torture porn, I always go, you should watch The Vast of Night. You can dig that.
Yep, same thing. You're right. Nailed it.
So
for the Transformers fans.
They'll never come back to you for recommendations ever again.
That's good. I'm tired of telling people what to watch.
Oh, you like Fast and Furious? Watch The Vast of Night.
Oh, is it my turn?
Yes.
I'm going to be quick because look, another movie I watched on Halloween Day was Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original from '74.
Beautiful.
If I have to tell you about this movie, you're watching the wrong podcast. You should be listening to anything, old speeches by Herbert Hoover, not this podcast. The cool thing is, I guarantee you can find Herbert Hoover's speeches somewhere. I see something new every time I watch this. Now, I remember watching Joe Bob talked about how like this has the most cuts in just about any movie in history. And it does create all this, like, you just never know. It keeps you on edge. So the last time I watched it, I watched Joe Bob talk about it. So that hit me. This time, as we're watching it, my wife and I both at the same time, because they do a close up when Marilyn Burns, Sally, is like there for the family dinner. And they do these super close-ups on her face. And we're like, we both go, God damn, she has the most beautiful eyes you've ever seen. Like, who has green eyes like this? I mean, it was cool just to notice her eyes this time. And I really wanted to suck them out of her head. Look, It is a
Okay.
cool movie. If you're all about cannibals, which I am, I happen to love cannibal movies. Jack and I watch Cannibal Holocaust anytime we want to like sit around and just laugh and laugh and laugh.
Feel
while we
good
eat
movie.
turtle soup.
Jesus
It's a good
Christ.
time. Possibly really good for Thanksgiving coming up. Anytime you get this and Hills Have Eyes.
We should have that out in the background when we do our Thanksgiving episode.
Turtle's ready. Who wants to shell? So, look, on Halloween Day, you have to watch one of like the all-time classics, and that is one of the all-time classics, and is as good as it was the first time I saw it 100 years ago, and will always be great. You were flashing up 3. You're telling me TCM 3 is the best one? 2.
I like 2 a lot.
I know I like 2 a lot too, but nothing compares with just that grittiness, and plus that fat disaster, Franklin. I'm so happy to see him die.
Every time I revisit it, I'm shocked at how little violence you actually see.
Yeah.
Considering the movie's reputation, for some reason, it erases from my memory, and I go in expecting craziness, and really don't see much.
No,
but it's like the build up to it is so intense.
The real intense thing is a grandpa trying to whack her in the head with that hammer.
Beautiful.
That's where I remember the first time I saw that movie. That scene, you're just like, "What am I watching? What is this?
Am I
But
allowed to see this?"
For me, that movie, when friggin' Leatherface just comes out of that door, grabs that person, and just pulls him back, and
one of the great
yeah.
first appearances in movie history.
Yeah, maybe the best. I mean, oh my god, so
Yeah.
awesome.
So
Good stuff.
TCM, TCB.
Well done. So I was on my friend's podcast, Celluloid Zeros, and this is my buddy Mike Carlin, has another podcast where he interviews authors and stuff, and his brother Jimmy or James, and they go back and watch old movies and see how they held up, and they kind of do a deep dive on it. So he texts me one day. He goes, "Hey, I started a new podcast. We're about 9 episodes in." And he goes, we're doing Love at First Bite. And I thought of you. You got to come on. It's like, absolutely. I've been meaning to go back and watch it. So I had to find where I could watch Love at First Bite, 1979 vampire comedy with George Hamilton and Susan St. James.
I saw it in the theater when it came out.
Saw it in the theater. So I found a copy on YouTube because I couldn't find it anywhere else. So Hunter, you and I have talked about this a million times. Like, I need to go back and Love at First Bite, watch Love at First Bite. And my God, I don't know when's the last time you saw this movie, Hunter, but for me,
A long time.
I remember so many scenes like that just hit me, like, "Children of the Night, shut up!" Like just these lines in me. I'm like, oh God, I saw this movie so many times when I was a kid. It was like Young Frankenstein came out and it was unbelievable. And then a few years later, the Dracula comedy came out, and this movie was huge. And it was Dracula was a really hot thing. Horror was a kind of riding a wave. And this comedy it's so 70s. And if you guys are a little younger, so you probably didn't experience this movie. If you want to see what comedy in the 70s was like, watch this movie. It's a snapshot of it took place the year after the blackout in New York. So they're referencing that. There's racial jokes. There's many politically incorrect things. Van Helsing is Jewish, and there's a whole bunch of jokes where he keeps forgetting the ways to fight a vampire. That's hilarious. Artie Johnson, one of the great Renfield, maybe the performance
Love Artie Johnson
that like made Renfield like the household thing that he has become. Where when people think of Renfield, he kind of started that with this movie. But you got to go back and listen. I was thinking of you guys the whole time because I was finally is not the right word, but I was on a podcast with people who were normies.
Right.
So when I make a horror reference here, everybody's like, "Oh, I know that already." And here's 10 other facts to top you. You know what I mean? Like we all speak each other's language. This I mentioned Dracula 2000 with Gerard Butler, and Jimmy was like, "What? Gerard Butler played Dracula?" You know? And I'm like, "Oh,
you don't know shit, man."
I should have been like, "Yeah, it's the greatest movie ever. Go watch it."
He's gonna. But also one of the fun parts about it was Mike's brother really took this movie seriously. And when he goes into what does this movie mean or what is it about, I'm like up here, like this is a lot of fun, and here's the vampire stuff, and he's going into like social commentary and politically correctness and woke this and that, and I'm like, wow,
Oh boy,
holy crap, dude, did we watch the same movie? So it was a lot of fun. To, like,
take it down a notch there, buddy.
it was interesting, but it was fun. So you'll get a kick out of like the banter in it if you listen to the podcast. But if you haven't seen this is one of the more fun horror comedies that kind of it's not really in a rotation. I think there's something to do with the rights to it, because the version I saw, there's a famous disco scene where they dance to "I Love the Nightlife, I Like the Boogie," and in the version I saw now, they took it out and played a different song in that scene, which is like the signature moment in that movie. And the one Mike got a version of it from a friend of his, so he saw the real version. I was like, it kills it. Like it's terrible. So you got to track down the original version if you can. And I don't know, Hunter, you remember we were at Chiller once, and I was trying to track down a version of that movie with the original song in it, and we couldn't find one.
Yep.
So
always when you go to Chiller, when you go looking for something specific, you never get it. It's
right.
You got to get the surprise.
Have you guys ever seen this movie?
I recognize some of the images I just showed, but I don't remember anything about it. I feel like maybe it was on HBO or something when I was a kid, maybe, but I don't really remember it.
Remember Zorro the Gay Blade, his other big movie?
We talk about that.
Boy,
so George Hamilton.
That movie would not come out now.
No. George Hamilton, the perfect guy to play Dracula in this movie. If you get a chance, check it out. It's a good time capsule and a good moment in horror comedy history.
Get the tannest man in history to play the palest monster.
It's so much better than Dracula Dead and Loving It. I'll say that.
Oh, that's a low bar right there.
Yeah, shit. Tim's got that on repeat on the background when he's working, I'm sure.
Love Leslie Nielsen.
All right. What do you got, Jason?
All right, I'll keep this short because I go in depth on this on Paleo Cheese, but I watched In the Mouth of Madness.
Oh, yeah.
I have no idea what that image is. That's not in the movie.
What is going on with IMDb tonight?
I have no idea.
Just trying to sabotage you, man.
Somebody's co-opted it.
This movie is interesting for me because the first time I watched it, I thought, that's pretty good. Definitely one of John Carpenter's lesser films. Now I definitely don't put it in his lesser films. I mean, it's not The Thing. It's not Halloween. It's not Big Trouble. But I really like this movie. And every time I watch it, I like it more and more. And I think I understand it more. So I don't know. This is the fifth or sixth time I watched it before we did Paleo Cheese. And I picked up so much stuff watching it this time as opposed to the other times. It's just so many little things that kind of foreshadow what's going to happen in the story. And I always feel like I pick up a little more, a few more Lovecraft references too, each time I watch it. So it's just the story of basically Stephen King. It's not Stephen King, it's Sutter Kane, but Stephen King goes missing and an insurance company hires their best investigator to go looking for him because there's going to be a big payout if he doesn't finish his book on time. And it is the incredible Sam Neill who totally carries the movie. And shit just goes completely sideways. The further along this movie goes, the crazier it gets. I should be showing some of these images if people haven't seen it because there's a lot of spoilers in there. It's just a damn good movie. And literally every time I watch it, I like it more. It's odd because I really didn't think that much of it when I saw it in the 90s. And now I'm like, you know what? That's a pretty goddamn good movie. I think he doesn't get enough credit for it.
Top 5 for me.
Couple weird things he does, but for the most part, I think this is just really good. So if you haven't seen it in a while and you maybe don't think it's the best, give it another try. It's good shit.
I'm actually not that crazy about that movie. I watched it a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I get it because
you heavy breathing on me not liking a movie, it just makes me not like it more.
So yeah, good shit. If you want to hear me really nerd out, Paleo Cheese, whenever that goes up in a couple of weeks,
I will be there for that because I fucking love that movie. It is in my top 5 for sure.
Nice.
I really like it.
Well, Tim, tell.
Last thing real quick. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but I finally read through Midnight in the Pentagram, which is a nice anthology put out by Silver Shamrock Publishing. Came
Kenneth
out of
Kane. God, that fucking guy.
what?
Kenneth W. Kane.
Oh, yeah, you don't like him?
No, I had him on my old podcast years
Oh.
ago a couple times.
He's a great guy and a great editor, and
Really
this book fucking kills it. And I'm not just saying that because I'm in it.
I was going to say, aren't you in it?
I know. I'm not saying it because I'm in it, and I'm not saying it because this publisher is putting out like my next 3 books. But
I am calling shenanigans on this. I say we pull the plug on this right now.
No, it's honestly, it's great. It's dude, the lineup is phenomenal. You got Keen,
Tim
Masterson,
Tim Meyer.
Going Back, Hightower, which I know you guys love.
Oh, Al Going Back is in there. I haven't read anything by him in a long time.
Yeah, he's in it. James Newman, Todd Kiesling, Lutzky's in it. Fucking Lutzky's in it. So
Lutzky.
it's all obviously have to do
Got
with
Lutzky and Hightower
and me. Don't forget
You?
me.
the trifecta.
But yeah, it's all got to do with possession stories and devil worship and all that types of good stuff. So definitely check it out. It's pretty big. It's like 500 pages long. There's like 40 stories in it. It's ridiculous. But
Well, that's like Midnight in the Graveyard. That's huge too. You could kill
Yeah.
someone with that book.
yep, and you could kill them twice with this one. So
Well, since we're reviewing our own shit, I read this book, Ash. It's so good. You would love it.
listen, I'm only in it a small amount compared to the entirety of the book. So
Little bit.
Oh yeah.
That's hilarious.
Hey man, plug your stuff. We're not
Yeah,
getting paid
that's
to do this.
Because
Plug
we're
your
not
damn
going to plug
books.
it.
listen, if I thought it sucked, I wouldn't put it out there. I already got paid for it, so I'm not getting paid anymore for it.
True.
How was Laurel
Good
Hightower's story? Because I know how Jason Brandt loves when we talk about Laurel Hightower's stellar work.
She might also just be on the goddamn show.
Yeah. Let's get her on. We need another. I'm gonna run out of squares. All right, can I go now, sir?
Please
Can I
go.
All right.
Go.
I'm gonna do it quick. In my Video Visions column on Cemetery Dance Online, I wrote about the ultimate movie to watch on Halloween night is Spider Baby.
Giddy up.
And I finished my day with Spider Baby, the maddest story ever told. By the way, this is directed by Jack Hill. Jack Hill, you may not know this, but is an exploitation master. He did Foxy Brown Coffee, The Birdcage. There was another one that he did. The Big Birdcage. Just this guy is like, for exploitation, he was great. This is Lon Chaney Jr. is Bruno, the chauffeur and kind of caretaker to the Merry family. And the Merry family, what's left is really 2 girls and a kid played by Sid Haig, who is super disturbing. They suffer from a disease where as they get older, their brains revert to like this insane state of just craziness. This is the Addams Family after drinking Night Train and doing peyote. There are fucking people in the basement. There's aunts and uncles in a hole in the floor. There's high comedy in this too. I mean, sometimes it's laugh out loud funny. These 2 girls are like innocent, but then they want to play Spider, which if they ask if they want to play Spider, they're going to cut the shit out of you and you're as good as dead. There's a hysterical like dinner sequence in there where they're vegetarians and one of the cousins is coming to take the house away and take the kids away, and it's really funny. And pretty much young Sid Haig, who just walks around shirtless and bald, crawling around like a wackadoo, I'm pretty sure has sex or rapes or has consensual sex with his older cousin who was there to take all their money away, who looks a lot like Meryl Streep. She was in House on Haunted Hill too. This movie's crazy. I don't know why this isn't like on everyone's top of most people's lists when they talk about like great horror movies. It's just it fell between the cracks for whatever reason, but we got to get it out of the cracks.
I had never seen this movie, and then a few years ago, I was at your place, and not only were you going to show it to me, but once your family heard that I was going to watch it for the first time. They all came in the room so they could be there for it. And you're right. This is the Addams Family on steroids and meth. It's awesome.
And Lon Chaney Jr. Come on.
Sad Lon Chaney Jr.
Oh, he's super sad in this movie. Great.
I've
movie.
never seen. I need to.
Never
It's
saw
on
it.
Prime. For free, brothers.
You should check this movie out. It's nuts.
Yeah.
I just saw it's on my watch list, so it must have been the last time you talked about it. I added it, and I just have not gotten to it.
That's a big gap in your horror education that you keep filling with shitty Amityville movies.
That's a fair point. Honestly, I'd never even heard of it until you mentioned it here. Like, I'd never heard of it before.
It's one of those ones. It's like it's a word of mouth thing for whatever reason. I'm trying to change that.
Yeah, I posted your article about the best movie to watch on Halloween, and the thumbnail for that is Halloween.
It's Halloween.
So a bunch of people, you could tell, don't read the article. They just see that and we're like, I love Halloween, one of my favorite movies, and they're all commenting, and I'm like, you guys didn't click the link. That's not what he's talking about in this.
First paragraph says it ain't Halloween.
All right, good call. So one of my Halloween Halloween week picks was to go back to an old favorite. I haven't watched this one in quite a while. I watched Day of the Dead from 1985.
Beautiful.
Say hello, Aunt Alicia.
So in the Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead trilogy, this has always been part of my, I don't know, least favorite isn't the right word, because it's kind of, Dawn of the Dead just so far above the other two. And there's things I like.
Just dark and grisly. Like the people are dark.
It's all takes place in this bunker. There's so much to like about this movie, but there's a few things that just are kind of like the bad guys are so bad. They're just cartoony bad.
Joe Pilato. I swear he gave the Ultimate Warrior acting lessons. He's so off of this.
I mean, you want to talk about people who just start in the red and go up. I mean, and the good guys are not the most likable or memorable characters in the world compared to the other Romero movies. But
Jamaican dude and an Irish dude, that's the greatest combo ever. Two motherfuckers who just want to chill.
One of the great things about this movie, though, is that, first of all, you always forget that Greg Nicotero is one of the soldiers in this movie.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember
that. I didn't realize this until like a few years ago. I was like, oh, because I didn't know who Greg Nicotero was until a few years ago. But the makeup and zombie effect wise, they're really just having fun in this movie. There's so many great gags that they pull, because now they've figured out how to tear a body apart and do all the blood and guts and eyes moving and stuff like that. So just for the gore gags alone, like, this is worth a watch. So this is a fun one to revisit. It's got Bub, the most famous zombie out of all the zombies, the Dr. Frankenstein guy who works on him. You'll never get his voice out of your head. So I had a good time going back to this. I was just wondering where do you guys put this on sort of the zombie movies in general, and just in the Romero lineup?
It's 3 in the Romero lineup for me.
Yeah,
of course.
Like I said, it's just hard to like anybody in that one.
Yeah, it's like a distant third, to be honest. It's the one I don't go back to.
Same.
It's not like a bad movie, but it's just not it's not one of my favorites.
It's got the best kill, I think, in the series.
It's nuts.
I think that's it. It has great moments in it, but start to finish, it's kind of the hardest to get through out of all of them. Where it's like Night of the Living Dead has this great story and all that, but it's just, if I'm going, I think I'm just going to go Dawn of the Dead anyway tonight instead. But
out of the 3, I think I saw Day the most, because in the 80s when it came out, we saw it at least 10 times in the theater, bought the VHS. It was just that thing that we would watch all the time. That was our movie, me and a couple of my friends. But yeah, it's still 3 for me.
But it's the one nobody talks about as far as the Romero movies go, and you have to see it. So check it out, because they take a turn after this one. So
they take a turn with the 2 remakes too.
Yeah.
Diary of the Dead.
Island.
All right, are we done?
I'm done.
Done.
Okay. Take us to Tremor Town.
I'm going to take Klonopin for this one.
Baby.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
Okay. Take one part, Jurassic Park. Take 3 ounces of Jurassic Park, 3 ounces of Predator,
Yes.
and 3 ounces of Tremors.
Very
Add
meta.
ice, shake thoroughly, pour into a cocktail glass, and you have Tremors Shrieker Island, where an island has, in a most dangerous game kind of way, bred the Tremor monsters, graboids, ass blasters. I don't know what the hell, which ones they're
Well,
for rich people to hunt.
yeah.
You just like saying ass blasters.
Ass blaster.
Let's be
ass
honest.
blaster, ass
Look,
blaster.
they gave it to us. That was the one gift out of these movies. They gave us
Yeah.
ass blasters. So you go from a graboid to a shrieker to an ass blaster. Is that the evolution?
I guarantee you, if you Google ass blasters right now, you will not see a tremor.
Jason, put that up on the screen.
All right, give me a second.
So
You know what's funny? I just Googled ass blaster and I got it like a creature. Holy
Really?
crap. It just shocked me.
I don't believe you.
Hunter, isn't that what your little outfit is? An ass blaster?
Depends on the day, honey. I swear to God, I got actual ass blasters from Tremors. But this is because computers listen to you. It
Still
knows
don't
what we're
believe
talking
you.
about.
Yeah, it's the government.
It totally is.
Blame the government.
Look, if I got porn, I would share the porn.
I know you would.
But no, Ass Blaster Premium Gourmet Hot Sauce is the second return.
I actually might have that. I have a
Blaster
hot sauce
sauce.
collection. I think I have ass blaster.
This is a
Ass
rabbit
Blaster
hole.
Chili mix.
This is a rabbit hole I'm willing to go down.
Urban Dictionary Ass Blaster. And animal. Hold on. It's
Should be a Final Guide special. We just Google ass blaster for half an hour.
a huge fart that
More
is so
interesting
powerful,
than the movie.
it hurts as soon as it leaves the cheeks. It also smells worse than regular farts because these ones usually leave squirts in the back of my
Wait, are you talking about this movie or are you talking about farts?
This is Urban Dictionary for what an ass blaster is.
I mean, both work.
Also, a diarrhea expulsion of such great force that it literally blasts out the ass, also known as a rectum ripper.
Oh, that's like in Hall Pass when that girl sneezes.
It's called sharding.
So, yeah, so
Yes.
this is what the writers had chosen to add as a monster of their pantheon of monsters, an ass blaster.
So rich people are hunting the Tremor monsters on the island, and naturally it goes wrong because they've genetically enhanced them. So they got to go find Burt Gummer out of retirement, who's like on an island in New Guinea. Bring him back so he can fight. So he can fight the monsters. Okay, let's talk about Tremors.
Let's
Shrieker Island. Who am I most curious to see what they think? Hunter, just go. Tell me what you got.
The whole time I'm watching this, I remember thinking, why are we doing this to ourselves again? Like, we just did this like 2 years ago or something. And then I go, oh, we got a lot of views. So that's probably why we're doing this movie again. Maybe we can catch lightning in a bottle twice. Look, I am not a fan. I love the original Tremors. I am not a fan of anything that has followed since. And this is just the land of diminishing returns. The one prior to this, where they were in the Arctic with no snow, was that
the sand with the filter on the camera?
Yeah. I said, oh boy. So I have to say, this one looked a lot better. It really looked like little Jurassic Park kind of thing. There's some actors I really liked in this. I like Richard Brake. He was the big game hunter guy. If you like Rob Zombie's 31, he's the best part of that movie. He gives that weird Tarantino-esque dialogue before he murders some dude. So Richard Brake is awesome. You got Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton?
Yeah. Isn't he what was his name on the Family Ties? Whatever. Well, Michael Gross.
You mean
is still
Michael Gross?
Yeah, but I always, for some reason, call him Michael Keaton.
Close enough.
At
Mr.
least
Keaton.
there's Mr. Keaton. At least there's continuity in these movies, and that continuity is Burt Gummer. The dialogue in this movie is unbelievably bad, but it does star a girl. What's that girl from Orange Is the New Black? Jackie Cruz.
Boobs McGee.
Yeah, let me tell you, I watched her for 7 seasons on Orange Is the New Black, and she was always in those jumpsuits. So I don't know if that body was always under there, but they were making as much use of it as they could. She was that candy in this movie.
That's for sure.
Her dialogue is anything stupid and cliche. They gave it to her to dish it out, and it also stars frickin' Napoleon Dynamite because Burt always needs a young sidekick. John Hader.
John Heater. Because Jamie Kennedy wasn't available. I don't know.
Yeah, he's got things to do. He's probably plotting our death after that review that we did. So I wouldn't blame him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was cool to see Napoleon Dynamite, not as Napoleon Dynamite, but I don't know. His character was just, there's nothing here. There's
okay, we get it from you. We get it from you. Jason, what do you think? What do you think?
Man, the writing is so bad in this. And that's one of the things that kills movies for me.
You're starting off by telling us that the writing in his Tremors movie was bad.
Well, that's the biggest problem because I'm not gonna lie. This movie looked good. It looked really good. Comparatively, at least. I was shocked. I was surprised at the cast. I'm like, John Heater? I don't know whatever you say his name. The cast wasn't what you would expect from a Tremors movie this late in the series. I was surprised at multiple parts of this, but every time someone spoke, I was like, oh, Christ. Every time somebody tried to explain why they were doing what they were doing, I'm like, what?
How did you like Napoleon Dynamite talking about his skills in the beginning? I'm thinking, I've got mad bow staff skills.
Mad bow staff skills.
Oh, God.
Girls like guys with skills.
Would you say the actor's name who played the villain with the long hair, the hunter guy?
Richard Brake.
God, the dumbest character in movie history. Every time he had to make a decision, he said something so incomprehensibly stupid. I was like, what? So,
yeah, you look good saying
it. Seriously, I don't know what the hell cameras they were using or whatever, but the movie looked phenomenal. And most of the CG wasn't bad either. I was really surprised by that. It was just, if they spent more than a day and a half on the script, maybe there could have been something here. I don't know, but man, it wasn't my favorite we've done so far this year.
Not on your top 10, huh? Okay.
So first of all,
he doesn't want to be here now.
First of all, Hunter, I don't believe you that when you punched in ass blasters in Google, you must have some sort of porn filter because there's no way that.
Oh no,
that one of the
filter
first
that asks for more porn.
I don't believe you that.
By the
his
way,
computer is the actual porn hub.
Yeah, I found more in Urban Dictionary. Ass blaster is also as a verb to nut in a girl's ass or good Mexican food. As in, how was your food, Dean? Didn't you have the double bean burritos with the extra guacamole sauce and peppers? Yes, and it was a real ass blaster.
This is amazing. All of this conversation is better than the dialogue in that movie for sure.
We're saving all of you.
Also, really pissed at Jack because I was not told that this was available on Netflix. And
Read your email, dude. There's the trail.
I fucking paid $6 for this piece of shit.
Dude. It's on you. This is on you. I emailed and said it's free.
$6?
Oh my God. $6.
Oh my God. Well,
I'm sorry.
I've spent $6 in much worse ways, believe me. But yeah, I mean, you guys pretty much said everything that I think about this movie. I will say that the shooting locations were gorgeous. I think they were shot in Thailand, if I'm not mistaken. Just like some of the locations were amazing. And it was hard to believe that they actually spent so much money in production and putting this thing together to shoot that piece of garbage script, because it was so bad, like all over the place. Like you guys said, the dialogue was laughable. And some of the, I felt bad because Richard Brake is like a really good actor. I mean, he plays the same character in every movie, but he does a good job doing that. And even the main character was Michael Gross. He I mean, he's been playing that character for 7 movies and a television series worth of Tremors stuff. So I mean, he's got that down pat. I thought he did a great job as well. But I mean, everything else was just hot garbage.
Wow. I mean,
All right.
it's hard to argue.
I wanted to check out, and I almost checked out about like 65% of the way into the movie because I didn't think you guys would even notice if I finished watching the movie or not. Because I could have predicted exactly what was going to happen.
You could have.
Well, I guess I'm alone on this end because I
Really?
love this movie.
You think you could have predicted that?
What?
I thought this was great.
No,
Probably
wait,
top 5
come on.
movie of the year.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I thought John Heater was so great in this movie.
All right, now I know you're full of shit.
Yeah, so here's the thing about
Here's the thing. He's not joking. He really loved this movie.
no. The only thing I didn't Google on my phone during this movie was where was this movie filmed? I read the entire internet on my phone while I was watching this, except that.
That's the only thing I cared about when I was watching this.
I was
where
curious
the
about
fuck
it.
did they film this movie?
Where are the ladyboys?
I feel like though, like when you watch a bad Ben movie, you go in knowing what you're getting. So I went into this with knowing what I'm getting. And like Jason was alluding to, it looked so much better than I expected compared to the last one with the, they just put a blue filter over somebody on the beach and said that they were in the Arctic.
Yeah, that's so bad.
And then like they go to Vietnam or something and they're just like on a paintball course or something, like, so there was such a step up that the visually and the special effects were, above Sci-Fi Channel level special effects for the most part. So right there, I said, well, wow, it's almost like watching Amityville movies and just going, wow, as far as Amityville movies go, this is better than most of them. It's not saying much, but as far as Tremors, however, not all the jokes were landing maybe like they were hoping. So I just think this movie is only for Tremors fans or people who just want to watch a sci-fi level monster movie while they're folding laundry or eating dinner or something like that. Like it's
who's the audience for this? Like who's clamoring for more of these?
Apparently Netflix, because they bought it. I don't know.
They cancel Mindhunters, but they keep going with Tremors.
Adam Sandler's 14th movie's coming out on Netflix.
I think I also read that Universal actually wanted to make this movie or something, and they paid to have it made. I think
they have the rights to the series.
What?
Jesus.
Yeah, I think they have the rights to the series. And
Yeah.
if I was looking up a little bit because I was like, how does this keep going on?
Yeah, exactly.
Apparently, right after the last one, Universal ordered another one.
Yeah, exactly.
And the last one was bad.
They probably saw our episode and all the views.
This must be just great pay-per-view or VOD content.
People must be buying it. I mean, there's got to be a market for it for them to keep greenlighting. I did see a few people in my writing circle mention that they actually watched it. So, I mean,
they must have a formula where they know a Tremors movie will get this many views or this many subscribers, or there's got to be like the teenage boy market that they're like, if we put this out, we're going to hit a certain market, make a certain, it's going to cost us $5 to make, and we're going to make $20 on it.
Yeah.
Kind of
just keep doing dolly shots by the woman with the big boobs. They did that like 70 times.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord. It was hysterical and appreciated. I needed it.
The writing was so bad. I want to say halfway through the movie, 3/4 of the way through, my wife comes home, sits down. Oh, is this a Tremors movie? Yeah. why aren't they in the trees? Why are they standing on the ground? I was like, I literally do not know. It's just so much of that.
My favorite.
You do.
Good. Anyone?
I was gonna say my favorite part was like the guy with the Gatling gun or whatever. Like he's just
Jesse the body.
He's just firing off rounds and like no recoil whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
No recoil. Even all the great, like real skilled hunters just shoot wildly everywhere. That's really, I'm pretty sure that's not the way it's done.
That one
kind of wait to see what's coming at you.
That one chick shot the gas tank like as it was like buried in the ground and the like what the fuck.
Yeah. It was they did strange stuff. Like,
by the way, as I mentioned before, I hope
good.
Am I behind everybody? I think I'm lagging.
You're lagging a little bit.
But whatever. Yeah, it's normal. We mentioned earlier, I just want to point out anybody who watches this movie at the end, see if you can recollect that there was an Asian girl and an African American dude who were in it for the movie and never said a word, but were part of the small group of 5 that were battling these things to the end.
You were paying way closer attention than I was.
I just never saw that ever in a movie.
The second you said that, I was like, they just didn't want to pay them SAG wages. That's the only thing I can. That's the only thing I can think of. They just didn't want to pay them because.
Did any of you guys see the new episode of The Mandalorian that came out on Friday?
No.
Yeah, I watched it.
Yes, me too. So, Tim, without giving away spoilers, there's a huge Tremors thing that happens in that episode.
Yeah, there is.
So we were coming off like a tremendous episode of The Mandalorian that does Tremors better than this Tremors does. So just
that looked a lot better. Even though, like I said, I mean, this movie looked good. Like the Tremors the CGI I thought was for a Tremors movie pretty fucking good.
Yeah,
especially the big ones.
So,
the big graboids look good.
Yeah, the ones that were like twirling in the air and shit. Like those things were pretty amazing. The Shriekers, there were some parts that didn't look that great, but
yeah, mostly when they were like moving around quickly, that didn't look good. But when they were standing still, it looked pretty good.
There was times I was like, this is like a sci-fi like Deep Blue Sea-esque CGI we're getting here. But then there's other times that look good, especially in the cave. They kind of like when they were, when they're in the cave, it looked all right.
It's dark. That's the key.
And there was a point in this movie where I'm like, God, they're just ripping off Predator. And then they just lean into it. They just keep referencing Predator to make it okay that they're ripping it off.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Yeah. They did a whole bunch of stuff and then they said just like Predator. And I was like, oh, okay, so at least they acknowledge it. But then they kept doing it. I'm like, oh my God. They literally just copied like half of the Predator script and put it in this.
Yeah. I'm surprised there wasn't a dude with the razor. I was waiting for that.
The Predators are looking at people like through their eyes, their POV.
And you got the heat vision.
The heat vision stuff, yeah.
Even the sounds were the same, like that same, like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus.
God damn, I love Predator, but Jesus.
I wanted Burt Gummer to say, you son of a bitch.
they did the handshake. He and the really thin black woman, they did the Predator handshake. It's like, God, guys.
God.
So, Jack, just ring the bell. Let's get to the only spoiler in this fucking movie.
All right, spoiler for the best part of this movie is that it's sad.
It ended.
Burt Gummer dies at the end, and they do a touching tribute to Michael Gross at the end of the movie.
The montage of all the Tremors he's been in.
That there was not a dry eye in the house.
You know, there are times when you're watching the end of a movie and you're like, God, man, this is a tearjerker. It's like Logan, and then right beneath it is Tremors Shrieker Island.
Goodbye, Burt Gummer. Bye, Burt Gummer. Although you can hear Michael Gross just going, thank God, praise Jesus in the background.
Why, though? He's probably getting a decent paycheck to do these movies.
Yeah, true. He isn't doing much else.
Yeah.
Will they continue this series with Napoleon Dynamite in the lead?
God, I hope not.
Well, we didn't see him actually die, so Burt Gummer might come back.
Yeah, it's true.
Good. Yeah, when he died, I was like, how does he get out of that? I don't.
If they bring him back after that montage, that's really bad.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll get ass blasted out of the Tremors butthole.
Yes.
By the way, here we go towards the bottom of Urban Dictionary. Ass blaster, an animal from Tremors, spelled TREMMORS, that flies, FLYS, by igniting a bodily fluid that shoots from their ass. So it made it to Urban Dictionary.
And still no side of any pornography that has to do with ass blasting.
No, but it was also below.
But we'll put links in the show notes.
Don't believe
an ass
it.
blaster is someone who pumps his load in another person's anus.
Links in the show notes.
Just wait until the show. We'll have direct links. Very visual.
Do like Google Images. What do I get there? Let's see.
Okay, this is feeling like we should wrap this baby up.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
I'm just getting ass blasters.
It's a fond farewell to a man who somehow made 7 or 8 of these. How many of these? 7?
I think 7.
How
series
a side character from the first one has made it through 7? Like, my hat's off to him. I mean,
that is pretty amazing.
Like, good for him. And it was a decent send off. You know, flipping off the creature as it kills him. That felt fitting for the character. It was the moment of writing they got right.
Rest in peace, Burt Gummer.
Oh, all right.
Don't Google image ass blaster. I'm like going, why would the camera be right at that spot?
Gotta love anal fissures.
Oh shit!
So we don't know what we're doing next week. We're gonna figure it out during the week. So keep an eye on Twitter and Facebook, and we'll let you know what we're gonna watch.
All will be revealed.
It's time for us to go and see what's going on with the election and check and see if our neighborhoods are on fire or anything. So
as America gets ass blasted.
There's an election tonight.
Burt Gummer for president.
There wasn't much mention of it. You probably didn't hear anything.
I didn't get an email from Jack about it. So
I'm gonna go watch reruns of Family Ties.
La la la. All right, I think that's it. So for the final guys, I would just like to thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
UrbanDictionary.com.
Game over.